is Mana Umar, the Executive Director and Founder of Spring of the Arid and Semi-Arid Lands, SASAL. So SASAL is an NGO founded in 2016 but officially registered in 2019. It's a pastoralist, women and youth-led organization, meaning the youths and the youths that have founded this organization, or rather starting up with it, are from a pastoralist background, and most of them are youths. So we work in Kajiado West sub-county, currently in Magadi Ward.
My name is Mercy Moinan Nyerere. I volunteer at SASAL as program lead. I'm village admin, the place where this project is situated.
It's Fidelis Njeri. I'm admin in SASAL organization.
Ni Karoli Lukeine, mkazi wa Magadi, a community liaison SASAL company.
Ibrahim Tahir Elmi, na niko nafanya kazi kwa hiyo kampuni inaitwa Spring of Arid and Semi-Arid SASAL, na mimi ndio nasimamia camp, ni site manager.
Enkang is a Maasai word for basically a home. We realized that the communities here are extremely vulnerable to climate change, and that the impacts of climate change are already occurring. So we've had persistent droughts, we've had persistent flooding as well. So the current rainfall pattern in Kenya, which should be bimodal, that is 2 rainfall patterns in a year: the March, April, May rainy season, which is the long rain season, and the October, November, December season, which is the short rain season, has just not gone as like it was forecasted, or it's rather like it's not coming on as it should be and as people have been used to. So pastoralists from these communities, if I can talk about these particular communities, they've been working around those rainfall patterns. But due to the impacts of climate change, the rainfall seasons have become unpredictable. And as a child that has grown from this particular land, of particular area, I've also witnessed firsthand how this change in weather patterns has evolved, especially when I learned about meteorology as my first degree. Definitely that's when I could relate all these issues. So we did a research to know exactly what are we going to propose as a solution to what the people are going through, not assuming that we know everything, even if we are from this area. So we conducted just a context-based study to understand the root causes of climate vulnerability, gender inequality in this area, and we established some few root causes. For example, lack of water. So lack of access to water heavily promoted the vulnerability of these communities because they couldn't diversify their livelihoods. They lose a lot of animals as a result. Women and girls have to trek longer distances to fetch water. So as a result, they encounter some instances of gender-based violence. So so among these other challenges, the challenges of electricity is extremely dark in this place, yet we have a lot of solar energy, like solar from the sun. So women would complain that when they're going to relieve themselves, they get attacked. So there's another issue of the lack of sanitation facilities. We look at the type of housing in the traditional Manyatta. It's not climate resilient for a fact. So it really exposes these people to the vagaries of weather, especially during these weather extremes. For example, during the heavy rainfall season, you find the houses are leaking and women and girls are constantly repairing. During the drought season, maybe there's a lot of wind or sun, the house, it's not habitable. It's extremely hot because of the materials that are used to construct it. So we decided, to to look at all this problem holistically. Because as it is, climate change is a complex and constantly changing phenomena. It's not something that remains static. So it calls for flexibility, it calls for a holistic approach to solving the issues. And the other thing that completely stood out in this research was the fact that these people's perceptions and attitudes were just off. So for example, they would feel like, how are we going to build these manyatas? It's something that's not practical to them. How are we going to harvest water? We are building houses made of cow dung. How are we going to harvest rainwater to make sure we have access to water? How are we going to have electricity? We don't have money, yet they have livestock and all that. So for us to try and solve this issue, we decided to bring a village in their midst. So to construct this Enkang that emulates the exact Maasai Boma. If you see, we are taking that round shape, and then we'll have traditional manyatas like going round to complete the circle, and then we'll have a cow and goat pen here in the middle to just emulate the exact manyata. The houses are in the shape of the manyatas, because in as much as we're trying to build a climate resilient and gender equal community, we're also trying to factor in the issue of culture, to be culturally sensitive and to promote, or rather preserve the culture, but in a way that goes hand in hand with the current situation. So, and also when it comes to gender equality, we are fighting the issue of harmful cultural practices such as early marriages. So we want to show the community that we are fighting harmful culture, but we are promoting beautiful culture, promoting and preserving beautiful culture. So this place will also be a place where culture that is beautiful can be showcased, so that we show them that we don't have any problem with culture, but rather with the harmful and derogatory culture that criminalizes, or rather affects women and girls. For example, early girl child marriage, female genital mutilation, such cultures. This model will have different programs, and in these programs we are trying to address a root cause. Each program addresses a root cause. So for example, these homes is just to enable these communities come and see that they can construct cost-effective and climate resilient manyatas with very little amounts of less than $800 in US dollars. $800, or rather let's just say $1,000 is enough for you to construct such a home that is exactly the same size as what they are used to. It has electricity, it's climate resilient, you can fetch water from this, like you can harvest rainwater from this manyata because it's made of cement, and we use waterproof material to make it not like water doesn't seep through the roof. So this manyata addresses the issue of gender inequality because it reduces the workload on women. It also promotes climate resilience because in this house, like I said, the water doesn't seep in, so even during rainfall season, they are safe. The house is also cool during the day. We've used a material that brings that like coolness inside the house, so people are able to stay inside the house even during the day. Children are safe. There are no pests and insects because you see even the floor is cemented. Each manyata has a tank. The tank will use gutters to like harvest water into the tanks for them to be able to use. We understand that with water, everything is possible, even in the driest of areas. So we are trying to harness rainwater, collect rainwater, pipe water all the way from some of the schools here to bring, like to show also the importance of collective responsibility, coming together as a community rather than working in silos or as individuals with low income. So the other issue with these communities is that they live in very far places. So it's not really easy for the government to have resources reach them. But if they concentrate on one area, it's easy to bring resources. So currently, as we are speaking, we have that manyata program. We have the water harvesting program. We've even already concluded on the program. We just left with the rainwater harvesting component, but the water is already outside there. Communities are benefiting. We've reduced up to 3 kilometers of distance to trek to the nearest water resource. So as it is, people are now walking like for 1 kilometer, the nearby villages, but the people around here just take 5 minutes to come and fetch water and go home, because we've brought a water source closer to them, just using this model. With the electricity, we are harnessing the power of solar energy. Of course, using solar and batteries and all that to make sure that this place is lighted, this place has electricity, people are able to charge their phones, they're able to connect to the outside world. Yeah, women and girls feel safe around this area, and just to show them that this is possible in a Manyatta setup, because it feels so impossible and it feels so modern to them. So basically, this whole village uses a method, a psychological method known as observational learning, to change attitudes and perception of the communities around very many issues surrounding climate resilience and gender equality. So it's like an educational facility. People come and see and learn of how to go about certain issues. So we'll be training, hopefully we'll be training cohorts after cohorts, starting from January next year. So at this moment, you're still in the construction phase, making sure everything is in order. But from next year, January, we'll be able to train cohorts. We have other programs that are in the lineup, awaiting more funding support. For example, a program on profitable pastoralism, because pastoralism is not only a form of livelihood in this place, but it's a culture. So it's really hard to separate that pastoralists from their economic activity, or rather tell them to diversify or to abandon pastoralism. So what we are trying to do is to train them on how to do this activity in a more profitable way, so that they benefit, they get that economic, they reap that economic benefit from it, as well as they maintain their culture, because it's something that's been passed from their ancestors, and pastoralists have an attachment to their cattle or livestock. So there'll be that program where we will train them on how to grow grass that's nutritious, how to integrate weather forecast so that they can be able to destock their animals, keep a smaller herd, to even reduce the pressure on land, because there's a lot of land degradation as a result of keeping large herds of cattle, and it's only for prestige, because when the drought hits, everything is wiped out. So we want to change that mindset of the community by keeping even a few of this livestock here, to show them that you can have a few number of livestock, but at the end of the day, you're the richest, because the money is in your account and not in an animal that's walking and vulnerable to climate change. So that's a program that is to come. We're also looking at climate smart agriculture. How can we improve the nutrition of this community, because they're extremely reliant on milk and meat. So we want to also promote vegetable farming by having small kitchen gardens on these Manyattas, where women can be able to plant vegetables, indigenous vegetables, and include them in their meals. This same village, change the attitude of women and girls, that they can lead, they can be in this position. That's why this organization is women-led. And up to this point where we are, it's been solely our decision as women, and it has been taken up, like the uptake has been good.
Asi ora na kaji korio ulimitaya nara ormembai nara si kamati yana SASAL kadi ya kamati oro ne yana SASAL na wana gara wana homo bo ora ke bewu bo ne wu adol duat na ijo konara nagara niponu apa ajo kishomo boo anaraki kitamanaitie tiatua muruan nikidol ajo ekenare pee kiyau dupoto natiu inji.
This model is for the community by the community. So we are using the approach of a community-led project to promote its uptake and to even ensure its sustainability. Because one of the issues that we've faced, NGOs have faced, is that resistance from the community. The moment they set in and they try to dominate every space, there's that fight that they encounter with the community and the pressure is too high, they end up leaving. But up to where we are, we've done a lot of community engagement. It's not been easy. We've reached a point where we even wanted to pack and leave. And there was a lot of pressure, expectations from the community, left, right, and center, lack of trust. Yet we are from this same place. We are not new people to them. But then there's been that issue. But the best thing that we've done is to have the community involved in every step of the process, from the planning to now the implementation. So this whole project is overseen by a committee of 11 that is diverse and inclusive of all groups.
Na kaji nairaba Ole Kitesho, nara chama lena SASAL, nara si ormembai lorkiramatian le community la. Ore taa yiok naa kakigira ashipakino ena project e SASAL enaa neeki yiok kuna toyie. Ore kuna kera neme nkera naetuo tiakop, nkera enakop, nkera inot enakop. Enijo aing'or oleng kuna kera naa nkonaang', yiok inyo otoiutuo metaa nkera ang' ate kuna nikiata tena ambi. Naa tenakop isumate, ore ninye tenakop iterutua primary, nisumate tenakop secondary, neeku te Nairobi apa kishomoita noo university kake nkunaang' nkera. Metaa kakigira ashukoki enashe oleng. Nikigira yiok adol faida sapuk tekuna kera amu ntoyie. Naa kegira oshi irmaasai aajo meeta ntoyie faida. Ore tenakata kidolta faida oleng oontoyie. Tenakata tiatua ena murua nikitii amu nkera nikisuma metaa mee tiakop eyakaki yiok, nkera enakop nisumate tenakop negira ashukoki yiok irmatunda. Ore apa ena ampuni e SASAL peeponu neetuo apa neponu apa aing'oru enepik Enkang nikincho enaa community nikitonyorrakinote ilarikok pookin loonkabilaitin pookin, erikore esirkali